Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now today we've got a few different beers, but the first one we're going to be doing today is, in this review, is a bitter apparently, but it says New World Bitter. So I'm like, oh, is it? That's a pity. So yes, today we're doing the York Brewery Minster New World Bitter. But I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm willing to give anything a chance. Now, Minster's a golden ale with a full... What? I don't even know what that means. I can't even read that. With a full malt character, maybe. It actually looks like Manchester. These glasses are. And a beautiful hops. And a beautiful hop palate. So it's got a multi-character and a hop palate. And a trio of American hops. Centennial, Chinook. I can't even see what the last one is. Citra, sorry. Brings a big citrus punch. The party well, New Zealand Pacific gem gives a fresh bitterness. York Brewery, since its founding in 1996, York Brewery has poured its heart and soul into brewing handcrafted ales that are enjoyed far and wide. And it's a 500ml bottle, 4.2%. I can't remember what I paid for it. I honestly can't, it's been that long. Plus I'm old and dithery. So yes, I will of course put the information down below in the beer facts. But yeah, so that's it, no more really information wise. So yeah, didn't say about the malts, what malts has got in it, but they're quite forward at telling you that yes, there's three American hops and one New Zealand hop. So there you go. And yeah, we're all going well. So let's crack it open and see what we've got. Some strange noises coming there. Ooh, there we go. Right, let's get the glass. Oh, always a bit cold. I haven't had it in the fridge. None of the beers that I've been doing recently have been in the fridge because this has been sitting in the garage. It's cold enough. And there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So for people of the podcast, it's a sliver of a head. Might be due with the temperature. I'm not really sure what the temperature is. It's been quite cold recently because of, again, if you have been watching recently, I'm actually up in Scotland just now for a period. And yeah, colour wise, it is kind of golden colour, kind of straw colour, kind of rich straw colour, but a little bit of haze to it as well. It's not completely clear. I can through there I can see the shadow of my hands, but I can't really obviously make out any detail. So there you go. That's all the information I can give you. So let's try the aroma. Well, there's a surprise. Yes. Not getting any malt. Not getting any grain. But I bet you can guess what I am guessing. Yes, indeedy. Yes, I'm getting kind of more kind of citrus tones. Not heavy citrus tones, but I'm getting obviously more hoppy citrus tones. That's what I am getting. They're not overpowering, they're not overbearing, they actually are quite light, but they are the only kind of aromas. I don't know, I've got an itch in this shoulder, it's annoying me. I'm glad. I bet you're glad you know that now, eh? You can sleep better, eh? Oh, he's got his itch sorted. That's fucking great, isn't it? Oh, so relieved. But yeah, I'm just getting kind of citrus. That's all I'm getting really. But again, it's not overpowering and it's not a kind of like pithy citrus. It's kind of slightly fresh citrus. You know, that type of thing. So it doesn't actually smell too bad. Whether that translates the same way in the taste, well, that's a different story, but it's not off-putting with the smell. But it does have ever so slight a lemsipy edge to it. This is the problem with these kind of citrus tones, is it does kind of remind you a bit of lemsip or cold rex or any other of these kind of cold and flu symptoms, I'm sure this will basically cure, is it blues, colds and sore arseholes, you know what I mean? It's a bit risky, isn't it? No. Anyway, I'm stalling, as you can have guessed it, because I'm sitting there thinking, well, if it's light in the aroma, it might be a bit heavier in the old flavour. And I'm like, oh God, no. Okay, right, go, bag it. Bottoms up. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and there's a bit of sweetness there to kind of balance it out. Doesn't really have so much of a bitter finish. What I'm getting is a slightly metallic finish. It's a slight metallic kind of feel to it. It's all right. I mean, the hops are fairly subtle. They're not too bad. They're not strong or heavy in any way, shape, or form. But also with that is they're calling it a New World bitter. Well, you maybe got the New World bit by some of the hops they're using, like American hops and New Zealand hop. But what you haven't got is the bitter part. And this is it. I mean, it's one of these strange ones. It's like, we're going to make a bitter, right? Okay. But we'll make it with New World hops instead of traditional English bittering hops. Okay, that sounds fabulous. That's going to really go and really kind of break ground. Nobody's ever done that before. And people are going to think we're marvellous and groundbreaking and progressive. And, whoa, we can have big long beards and have lots of tattoos, and we can have turn-ups in our jeans, and we can wear Doc Martens, and we can have braces on. It's all going to be fabulous. Let's go and do this. Come on, let's go and do this, boys and girls. And then they go away and they come back. It's fabulous. You can taste the hops. The hops are great. You can taste it, but it's subtle, not too much, not too pithy, that type of stuff. It doesn't give you that sourness and everything else. And there you go. It's marvellous. It's groundbreaking. Let's slap it in the bottle and get it out to our patrons, our followers, our worshippers, whatever you want to call them. Apart from one thing, we're going to call it a bitter, but we forgot about the bitter part. Fuck it. Not important. And it's like that. It's like, if you're going to call it a bitter and you're going to try and make a bitter, well, first of all, let's kind of try and achieve the bitter part, because it's in the name, it's a kind of fucking big clue. Seriously. Let's make it better, but let's not make it better. So it'll just be like a kind of strange tasting golden ale. Seriously. Oh, God. So it's going to lose marks for that. Trust me, it's going to lose marks by calling it bitter and then not actually delivering bitter. Well, yeah, you're not getting away with that with me. You might get away with that, some of the other reviewers and everything else that want to lick your arses and that type of stuff. I'm for the beer. I don't want to lick your arses. I don't want to basically be your pal, whatever people want to do with you. I'll buy the beer, and if it's nice, I'll maybe buy it again. If it's crap, I'll buy it once and I'll tear it to shreds. That's the reality of it. But overall, it's an alright beer. Yeah, it's like, what it reminds me of, it's got slightly little honey tones of that sweetness. And the way the hops are, it does have slight accents of Tanglefoot from Holland Woodhouse, the Badger Brewery down in Ladford Forum. And it just kind of has little kind of tones of that. And especially with the kind of level of sweetness. I wouldn't say it's overly sweet, but it's quite high up there. And the hops are obviously kind of holding it back from it running away. And that reminds me a bit of what Tanglefoot is like now is the case is that it does have the kind of hops trying to hold back the sweetness. But I think recently, over the last year and a half, 2 years, it's got sweeter, even more sweeter than what it used to be. And yeah, it's just too sweet now. But yeah, it has that kind of tones. But the hops are actually a little bit more subtle. There's a bit of pithiness there, but it's not really giving you a bitterness. Maybe giving you a slight sour, you know, that type of slight pithy kind of orange peel or grapefruit kind of sourness in the mouth, but it hasn't got the bitterness at the back in the aftertaste, and it's not hitting the roof of the mouth or anything like that. It's just not there. Let's quickly break down these flavours. Okay, again, very little malt, really, very little grain. The thing what I'm really getting at the front of the mouth is sweetness and just a little bit of kind of citrus accent, light citrus accent. That's what I'm really getting. There isn't really the malt there. There obviously is malt there, but not enough to really push its way through the sweetness and these kind of citrus accents. Moves on to the mid tongue, and again, it's just all about the sweetness and the citrus accent, which come a little bit more stronger, and you're getting slightly different ones, but they're all kind of slightly citrus based. And this is the problem when you're putting in all these different kind of hops that are all based on giving you slightly piney or citrusy kind of flavours, is they tend to just kind of blend themselves into a kind of mulch, basically, of flavours. They're not really standing out anymore. They're not really identifiable. They just become a bit of a blur on the tongue. And yeah, I'm getting kind of different citrus kind of accents, but they're all kind of blurred together and kind of mixed together, and they're not very clear, and they're certainly not clean. But you're actually starting to get little honey tones as well coming through with the sweetness, and the sweetness just doesn't dissipate in the mid tongue in any way, shape, or form. Moves on towards the aftertaste. And yeah, you're getting a little bit of sourness, just a little bit of sourness, just as it starts to kind of get to the end of the mid tongue, just before it moves over to the aftertaste. But when it moves over to the kind of back of the mouth and the aftertaste, that's when the hops are kind of starting to die down. They're starting to kind of burn themselves out, and they'll just start to fade away quite quickly. And you're just left with slightly honey tones and this sweetness. And that's all you're kind of left with, and they're the last kind of flavours to kind of dissipate. And it's quite a quick finish. There's nothing lingering, really. There's no real bitterness that I would say. So, and I can honestly say that, because I would say there's more of a bitterness edge in the aftertaste with Tanglefoot than there is with this. So it gives you an idea, and Tanglefoot isn't supposed to be a bitter in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, and yeah, it's okay. I would say it's a bit of a subdued beer in a lot of ways. It's definitely not a bitter. Right, so what would I give this out of 10? I mean, it's an unoffensive beer. It has got some citrus flavours, but they're not in any way, shape, or form overpowering or in your face. And I don't really think, even if you're not really into kind of citrus flavoured beers, I don't think this would be such a heartache or a hardship to try and kind of drink. It wouldn't probably be your favourite, but I think you could probably drink it. If you're into more kind of citrus flavoured beers, then you're probably quite disappointed and find this quite weak. And for people like me who can cope with both, I can drink citrus flavoured beers and things like that. They're not my first choice, and they're not my favourite, I'll be totally honest, but some of them I enjoy, and it just depends what mood I'm in and everything else. But I do prefer more traditional style beers, but I don't mind some of the kind of um, American kind of hop beers and things that I don't want them hopped off their tits. I'll be totally honest. There's got to be a balance to them. And if they're just hopped off their tits and it's just like, well, how much hops can we can actually shove in this bloody thing? Then no, I'm not into that. I'm into it. If you're going to use it, that's fine, not a problem. But you've got to use it in a controlled way and make a balanced beer. If you're going to try and kind of wrap it off the scales, then for me there's no point in that. It just defeats the purpose, and it just actually makes the beer, in my view, undrinkable. So it's nowhere near anything like that. It's actually very light. Like I say, you'll get more of a bitterness, edge, and tanglefoot than you would in this. So on that basis, is it bitter? No, it's not. So it's going to lose some points on that. Is it drinkable? Yeah. Is it kind of balanced? Well, kind of. I mean, the malt's there, but it's not really providing any flavour. But you are getting some honey tones. It is fairly sweet for this type of beer. And again, the hops are kind of working with that, so it's not kind of running away with itself and becomes sickly. It's quite easy drinking. And it's one that could maybe work for more of a summer's day or something like that, summer's barbecue and that, which is not what I actually thought it was going to be, because I never read the back label. I'd just seen New World Bitter and I thought, well, it's going to be a bitter, so it'll be slightly kind of down that road. And yeah, it's a type of beer I would drink kind of in the spring, in autumn, and quite happy to have them throughout the winter as well. So I thought it'd be quite a good beer to do. Unfortunately, it turns out to be more of a slightly cloudy golden ale, and more of a summer drink. So yeah. So with all that in there, what would I give it out of 10? I'll give it 5.5. So I'll give it 5.5. It's quite drinkable and things like that, but it's not a bitter. If it was a proper bitter and things like that, using them, then it'd probably get a bit more and things like that. But I would also expect it to have a bit more malt and be a bit darker and everything else. And yeah, I would change the recipe. So I'd make it more actually like a bitter and not like a golden ale and just call it a bitter. I just don't see the point in that. So yeah, so it's 5.5 out of 10. It's 4.2%. It's 500ml bottle. Thanks for watching. Cheers and bye for now.